Now this one looks very tricky, but what we're going to do is we're going to use what we already know how to do. So let's take a function and we're going to do a few functions. Okay, we're going to make a function square, and we're also going to use a function called the line of squares, right? A line of squares. So how do we do a square again? Well, square was a repeat loop, and you move forward. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Move forward by 50, forward by 50, and then you're going to turn left by 90. Okay, so let's just run it to make sure. Square. Okay, so we know that works. What was a line of squares? A line of squares was you do the function of a square, and then what you did is what? You got to jump forward by 100, and then we had 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 of them. So repeat loop that 3 times. So this is a review of the other one. We're going to use everything that we know before from the other problems to get this done. So let's take a look. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to put it over here. So over here you got to put functions, draw a line of squares. So that gets us to gets us 1 row across. Okay, now here's what we want to do next. We want to do 1 line here, staggered squares, and what we want to do is we want to turn around. Okay, so we want to draw our line of squares, and then we want to turn around by 180. Okay, so here's where it gets a little tricky. We're going to call this staggered squares. Okay, so how do you do a staggered square? Well, the first thing you can do is you're going to put your functions, and you're going to say you want the line of squares. And then what are you going to do next? You're going to jump forward. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to, actually we won't jump, we're going to turn. We're going to turn right, and we want to turn around, right? So we did our first row, we did a line of squares here, and now we want to turn around like we did in the other one. Turn around 180. 180. Turn around just like we did the other one. So let's see. Let's take this out, and we'll run the function staggered squares. So let's see how that looks. This runs this function, and now we turn around. Okay, so we got this. Now we turn around. Now what do we want to do here? What we want to do is after we turn around here, we want to repeat this again. So we're going to do actions loops. We're going to repeat this 2 times. Why are we doing this 2 times? We're doing this 2 times because we want to get the second row done. Okay, so staggered squares, what this does is does the first one, then we turn around, and then we do the second one. So let's take a look. Staggered squares, now it does the 2 rows, but it gets us 2 rows. Now we're over here. Now here's the tricky part. We're going to turn to the right, and you got to jump from here to here. So that's going to be 100. And then once you get here, you're going to turn to the left. So let's take a look. Now you get here, and what can you do again? You're going to do your staggered squares again. Now, what you can do is you can keep doing this again, or you could say, hey, this is a pattern, right? We have 1, 2, 3 patterns. I'm just going to loop this whole thing 3 times. So you see functions, you put functions inside of functions like we did with the staggered squares here, and it makes it easier so that you don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Okay, let's look at the challenge puzzle. This is really, really, really difficult, but we're going to make it work. So we have to create this image here, and each triangle is 50 pixels. So first thing we'll do is we're going to make a triangle. This is similar to the other one, triangle. How do you make a triangle? Well, a triangle is 3 sides. You move forward by 50, forward by 50, and then you turn right by 120, right? Because 120 degree turn, and you repeat loop that 3 times. Okay, so let's just see what happens when I run the function triangle. Okay, we got that done. Now we're going to do the same thing that we did in that other one. We're going to make a line of triangles. Line of triangles. Now what's a line of triangles? Well, a line of triangles is going to be the function of drawing a triangle, and then you're going to jump forward by 50. So let's see if we do a line of it. Oh, what's wrong here? It didn't work here. Up. Let's see what didn't work. We have to do 1, 2, 3. Let's do it 4 times. Let's do it 4 times. Let's make a loop in here of 4 times for a line because we've got a whole line of triangles here. So let's see how that goes. So that gets us our first row. Okay, so we did our first row. What are we going to do next? Now we've got to turn to the right. And what does it say we're going to turn to the right by 60 degrees? By 60 degrees. What are you going to do next? You're going to do your function, draw a line of triangles. Good. Now what do they tell us to turn? They said first if you turn by 60, then you got to do a turn right by 120. So then we're going to do turn right by 120. And then what are you going to do again? Next you're going to do your line of triangles. So let's take a look at that. Then you're going to turn to the right again. Actually, they don't want you to use more than 14 blocks. So what you could do is you can repeat this, because I noticed they don't want you to go more than 14. So you just got to repeat this. That's what they want you to do. Okay, so repeat this 2 times, and then we'll take a look. So you see the function helps you. It helps you to make it simpler. You don't have to use the same blocks over and over again. Now this one is, wow, this one really looks difficult, but we'll make it work. So let's take a look at some of these here. First thing we have to do is we have to say how we're going to make a hexagon. Okay, so function was a hexagon. Oh, sorry about that. Function hexagon. Hexagon. So how do you make a hexagon? Well, hexagon is 6 sides. So it's going to be move forward. And they tell us it's 25. And the turn is 60 degrees. So it's actually turn right by 60 degrees. And it's 6 sides. So you're going to do 6, repeat loop 6 times. So let's just run that to see how it goes. Hexagon. Okay, so we did one of them. Okay, that looks good. Now we have to do the same thing that we did with the other one. Draw a line. I'll say line of hexagons. So you have a line of hexagons here. And how do you draw a line of hexagons? Well, first we'll use our function, hexagon. And then we have to jump. They tell us to jump 25. So we're going to jump forward by 25. Okay, and how many of them are there? Let's see how many of them there are. They told us to do it 8 times. So we make this repeat loop 8 times. Okay, so you just read the instructions and you work it through. Let's take this loop, this function out, and let's do the line of hexagons. Let's take a look how it goes. So that gets us 8 times. What are we going to do next? We're going to turn to the right. So this is similar to the other one. Turn right by how many? 60, they tell us. Turn right by 60. And then what are we going to do next? We're going to do our function again, line of hexagons. Now what do they want us to do? A turn by 120. Actions. Turn right by how much? By 120. And then what are you going to do? You're going to do your line of hexagons again. Okay, now then we need to turn right and do a line of hexagons again. Now this is similar to the other one. They don't want you to go over 14 blocks. So what you do is you're just going to repeat the whole thing. And 2 times, I believe. Let's try how it looks. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. What's going to happen? Well, it's going to draw a polygon, which is a polygon is a square. It's going to draw a square, and it's going to turn to the right. But the problem is it needs to jump. There's no jump. So it doesn't. It will draw. It's this one here. Well, this one I can't answer it, but this is not going to work because it doesn't have a jump. So here you can make whatever you want here, and they have all the functions over here. So what you could do is you could take a function here, and you could say draw a line of squares, and you could say you want it to jump forward, and then you could say a function staggered squares. So just see how it goes. Okay, we can make this maybe like 10 if you want, and you can turn to the right, See how that goes. Okay, so you can make your own design for this one, and then you click finish.